Imagine this. One day, everything changes. The ground beneath your feet rips apart, not in decades, but potentially tomorrow. We're talking about the San Andreas Fault, a jagged scar running through California like a coiled snake, ready to strike. Scientists have been warning us for years about the big one, a massive earthquake that could reshape the state, disrupt lives, and test our resilience. The question isn't if it will happen, it's when. And the scariest part? Recent tremors and new research suggest that when might be closer than we think. California's been buzzing lately, not just with its usual hustle, but with the subtle, unnerving shakes of minor tremors. If you live in the Golden State, you've probably felt one or two, a quick jolt that makes you pause, heart racing, wondering if this is the big one. These small quakes are like whispers from the earth, reminders of the massive forces churning below. They've got people talking, from coffee shops in San Francisco to suburbs in Los Angeles, and the anxiety is palpable. Why? Because the San Andreas Fault, a 1,200-kilometer, 750-mile fracture slicing through California, has a reputation. It's the fault line that could unleash a catastrophic earthquake, one that could dwarf the disasters we've seen before. The San Andreas Fault isn't just a crack in the ground. It's a boundary where two massive slabs of the Earth's crust, the Pacific Plate and the North American Plate, grind against each other. This isn't a gentle nudge. It's a slow, relentless battle that's been going on for millions of years. Every so often, the tension builds up, and when it releases, the ground shakes, hard. The fault's most infamous moment came in 1906, when a magnitude 7.9 earthquake leveled San Francisco, killed thousands, and left the city in ruins. That was over a century ago, and scientists say we're overdue for another. What if the next big one isn't just coming, but is imminent? New studies suggest the fault is locked and loaded, with enough pent-up energy to unleash a quake of magnitude 8.0 or higher. To put that in perspective, a magnitude 8.0 quake releases about 30 times more energy than a magnitude 7.0. It's not just a bigger shake, it's a whole different beast. Buildings could collapse, highways could split, and entire communities could be cut off. Are we ready for that? Let's dive into what makes this fault so dangerous, why scientists are so worried, and what we can do to prepare. The San Andreas Fault stretches from the Salton Sea in Southern California to Cape Mendocino in the north, cutting through some of the state's most iconic landscapes. Think Los Angeles, the Bay Area, and the Central Valley. It's not a single line, but a complex system of faults, with the main strand being the most active. The fault marks the boundary between the Pacific Plate, which is sliding northwest, and the North American Plate, which is moving southeast. They're not moving fast, about 2 inches a year, roughly the speed your fingernails grow, but over time that movement builds up stress. When that stress releases, it's like a spring snapping back. The fault's behavior isn't uniform. Some sections creep along slowly, releasing energy in small, manageable quakes. Others are locked, meaning the plates are stuck, building up pressure for decades or even centuries. When these locked sections finally slip, the results are catastrophic. The southern section of the San Andreas, near Los Angeles, hasn't had a major rupture since 1857, when a magnitude 7.9 quake struck. The northern section, responsible for the 1906 San Francisco earthquake, is also quiet. Too quiet. Scientists call this the seismic gap, and it's one of the reasons they're sounding the alarm. Recent data from the U.S. Geological Survey, USGS, estimates a 72% chance of a magnitude 6.7 or greater earthquake striking the San Francisco Bay Area by 2043, and a similar probability for Southern California. For a magnitude 8.0 or higher, the true big one, the odds are lower, around 7% in the next 30 years. But that's still a roll of the dice no one wants to lose. And here is the kicker. We can predict exactly when or where it'll hit. Earthquakes are notoriously tricky, and while we've got fancy sensors and models, the Earth doesn't send us a calendar invite. So, What's the big deal about the big one? It's not just about the shaking. A major earthquake on the San Andreas Fault could trigger a cascade of disasters. Picture this. Buildings topple, gas lines rupture, fires break out, and water supplies are cut off. In 1906, the fires that followed the San Francisco quake caused more damage than the shaking itself. Today, with California's population at nearly 40 million and its infrastructure more complex than ever, the stakes are even higher. In a worst-case scenario, a magnitude 8.0 quake could kill thousands, injure tens of thousands, and cause hundreds of billions of dollars in damage. The USGS's shakeout scenario, a detailed simulation of a major quake on the southern San Andreas, paints a grim picture. 1,800 deaths, 50,000 injuries, and $200 billion in losses. That's assuming everything goes relatively well. If the quake hits during rush hour or sparks widespread fires, the toll could be much higher. Then there's the ripple effect. California's economy is the fifth largest in the world, home to tech giants, Hollywood, and a massive agricultural sector. A major quake could disrupt global supply chains, knock out power for weeks, and leave millions without homes or jobs. Ports like Los Angeles and Long Beach, critical for international trade, could be crippled. And let's not forget the human cost. Families separated, communities displaced, and a recovery process that could take years. Here's where things get unnerving. Recent research suggests the San Andreas Fault is under more stress than previously thought. Scientists use GPS and satellite data to measure how much the Earth's crust is deforming along the fault. The more deformation, the more energy is stored, waiting to be released. In 2024, a study published in Nature Geoscience found that parts of the southern San Andreas are critically stressed, meaning they're primed for a major slip. Combine that with the fact that the fault hasn't erupted in key areas for over 150 years, and you've got a recipe for concern. Smaller quakes, like the 2019 Ridgecrest sequence, magnitude 6.4 and 7.1, have also raised eyebrows. These quakes didn't occur on the San Andreas itself, but on nearby faults, and they sent shockwaves through the region. Some scientists worry that these events could trigger a larger quake on the San Andreas by redistributing stress. It's like shaking a soda can. Eventually, it's gonna blow. There's also the Cascadia subduction zone, a massive fault off the coast of Northern California, Oregon, and Washington. While separate from the San Andreas, it's another seismic hotspot that could produce a magnitude 9.0 quake and a tsunami. The two systems don't directly interact, but a big Cascadia quake could still rattle California and complicate preparedness efforts. The point is, the West Coast is a seismic powder keg, and the San Andreas is just one fuse. So, what can we do? The good news is, California's been preparing for decades. The state has some of the strictest building codes in the world, designed to make structures withstand major quakes. Retrofitting programs have strengthened older buildings, bridges, and highways. The Earthquake Early Warning System, rolled out in 2019, can give people a few seconds' notice before the shaking starts, enough time to duck, cover, and hold on. But preparedness isn't just about infrastructure. It's about people. If you live in California, you've probably heard,